A few days ago, there was a lot of excitement around Caracas when a Starbucks suddenly opened in the Las Mercedes shopping district. For 3 years now, different pretenders have been trying to bring this brand into Venezuela, and finally, there's a location in the capital. No more waiting. No more rumors. Those who could afford a cup of this artisan brand coffee stood in line for hours. People posted to social media photos of their names carefully and lovingly handwritten onto their cups. Naturally, skeptical people went directly to the Starbucks Corporation to ask about this new location in Venezuela. Their skepticism was healthy because Starbucks is a US-based company and the United States government still has active sanctions against the Venezuelan state, which is still occupied by Maduro's usurper regime. The Starbucks corporate office clarified that they have no locations in Venezuela and pointed out the "We Proudly Serve Starbucks" sign in the photos. Let me clarify. A Starbucks coffee house is owned or franchised directly by the Starbucks Corporation. We Proudly Serve Starbucks is a program by the Swiss company Nestlé, where other companies have kiosks in which they make coffee with the Starbucks recipe and serve it in Starbucks brand cups with the company's permission. You see these a lot in supermarkets and college campuses. Then the Nestlé company issued a statement that Nestlé Venezuela does not participate in the We Proudly Serve Starbucks program, nor has anything to do with the establishment in Caracas using the Starbucks brand. This means that the hipsters in Caracas who love chasing foreign brands, at least the ones who still have money to spend, are paying for fake Starbucks. There are no locations or third-party distributors in Venezuela. It's just somebody who knocked off all of Starbucks' intellectual property and is making money by defrauding customers who believe that they're buying the real thing. I never knew there could be such a thing as pirated coffee, but leave it to the Bolivarian Revolution to surprise you with its new lows. This fake Starbucks is privately owned, but since it's in Las Mercedes, it has to have been licensed to operate by the Caracas local government, which is dominated by Chavistas. It's also not the first time that food or brand piracy is blatantly practiced in Venezuela with the communist government's blessing. In 2018, Kellogg's Venezuela branch closed the doors of its factory and announced that the company was pulling out of Venezuela due to the spiraling economic situation. Maduro called this unconstitutional and illegal economic warfare against Venezuela. So his government took over the Kellogg's factory and has continued making cereals with the names and brands of the company and its products. The following year, there was another scandal after a so-called mini Walmart opened up in Carabobo and was selling American brand appliances and consumer goods, despite the supposed economic war that the US was supposed to be waging on Venezuela according to the regime. Again, it was just brand piracy. Someone just opened a store and called this business something that it wasn't. In this particular case, that someone was Hector Mandel, former city government official under the Chavista mayor of Naguanagua. So why all the brand piracy in Venezuela? Well, from the consumer side, it works because American brands are popular. American culture is popular in Venezuela. Chavistas denounce America, and they call us evil, and they denounce our decadent, materialistic culture, but they love practicing that materialism themselves. And those same Chavistas love living up here and sending their children to live here. People around the world see our movies and they see our flashy brands, and they want a piece of that. And getting their hands on American brands lets them have a piece of the culture they admire, even if that culture is often materialistic and superficial. From the bootlegger side of the equation, it's easy to steal other people's property and then lie to customers that they're buying something when they're really buying something completely different. And this business model becomes a safe investment in environments where governments are hostile to the US and no court of law will punish the bootleggers and brand thieves or make them stop, or at least make them start over with original brands. But something like that would miss the whole point, since the American brand is exactly what customers were paying for in the first place. In the case of Starbucks Venezuela, this establishment was allowed to open in Las Mercedes for reasons aesthetic, political, and criminal. Respected journalists Laura de Rosa Martinez and Raymond Azar offer several insights. First, Maduro is trying to sell his battered, beleaguered, and very heavily gaslighted population the myth that Venezuela's economy is recovering. You see, Las Mercedes used to be the biggest shopping district in all of Latin America, until the Bolivarian Revolution's failed policies sent the district into decay. Hence, what better way to make it look like things are getting better than with a brand new Starbucks in the most famous shopping mall in the country? But in reality, Venezuela's economy is not recovering. The number of people who have had to leave Venezuela to pursue economic opportunities abroad is about to reach 7 million, a historic high. The economy is stabilizing a little bit as people across the country are starting small businesses and side gigs with lots of help from outside remittances in order to help make ends meet. But the economy, while stabilizing, is still getting worse. The regime just changed Venezuela's money again, removing 6 zeros from the currency to ignore and hide the ongoing hyperinflation. So it's stabilizing into a pile of crap. Also, due to the ongoing sanctions of Venezuela's state-owned industries, which is a lot since the Chavista regime expropriated at least 1/3 of Venezuela's economy from production to distribution, Maduro now desperately needs privately owned businesses to launder money made from drug trafficking and illegal mining by members of his regime and by the Suns cartel's many partners, affiliates, and subsidiaries. The more private businesses there are, which of course will be owned by people loyal to the regime, the easier it is for the Suns cartel to launder its ill-gotten money. After all, people were asking too many questions a few years ago about the $4 billion that Hugo Chavez's daughter supposedly made from selling Avon products. But hey, cup of coffee, anyone? Thank you for watching Venezuela Explained. This video was quicker, more lighthearted, and a lot more fun than usual, and I thought you folks would be as amused about pirated Starbucks as I am. Happy holidays, and here's hoping that Venezuela will be free in 2022.